Hello, happy Sunday, and welcome to My Left Ear, Opinions Unlimited. This is a pro-democracy channel. I'm Carrie Freeman, and my co-host, Petey, has been a little under the weather the last few days, so I'm just letting him sleep it off. Yesterday he had a dry nose and warm, and he just kept sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. But I got him up last night, I got him eating, and we had a cold, wet nose this morning, so I'm just leaving him alone for the time being. This is video 311. I'm gonna start with, yesterday was such a disappointment for me. Not the end of the world, but it was just a disappointment that I had worked very hard to hire someone to get my Patreon channel all ready, but I didn't realize they've changed the channel, and I literally couldn't find the button to record. I looked and I looked, and I've recorded many times. So that's why the first official writing lecture I put up on this channel, even though people are paying for it. I just wanted to get it up, and it was going to be hard to explain what happened. So I'm contacting my Patreon expert, Joe, and I'll find out what's what and come up to speed, and it'll be good for next Saturday. Thank you. I felt awful yesterday. I'll just be honest with you. I was like, oh my God, I hyped this thing. I was all ready, and then, oh, it was so frustrating. But anyway, I let it get to me a little bit, I'll be honest with you. But this morning I woke up, and it was like good evidence. I got this lovely email that started out from somebody I've never met, that started out, things happen for a reason. I loved your writer's video today. This glitch could be your luckiest glitch ever, not only for you, but for others like me who would have not considered joining. Yay for all of us. So that was very, very nice. And then she said, for years I have wanted to write about things I could easily teach. Thank you for posting the video, even though the circumstances were not as planned. How wonderful to possibly have this opportunity to learn from you. It was wonderful. It really lit me up. And I wrote her back, and I thanked her, and I'm thanking her again. So I did say things happen for a reason, and then, you know, she benefited from the problem I was having. All right, I'm starting with good evidence today because we're having very difficult times at the moment, right? So I just love this news. Mary Peltola from Alaska is running for the Senate, and I got to tell you, she's going to win, hands down. I'll give you all $500 if it doesn't happen. She's going to win the Democratic seat. And why I'm so excited, maybe you already know this, she's going to flip the Senate to Democratic. Now there's another piece of good news, and I checked it out with the runes. Pete Buttigieg is considering a run for the Senate in Michigan because Gretchen Whitmer is vacating the seat. So first thing I want to say about it is, I asked the runes, will Pete Buttigieg run for Michigan Senate? And I already think he's going to do it because it did come out that he was considering it. He's going to do it. It's just too perfect. I got a little one hair bothering me. But I asked the runes, will Pete Buttigieg run for Michigan Senate? And the first rune I got was breakthrough. That's the spiritual warrior. And I'm making this really quick. This is kind of a mini My Left Ear today. Spiritual warrior signals a major breakthrough in the process of self-change, because this will be a new identity for him, a new role, a complete transformation in attitude. It is the bright warmth of the sun as it breaks through the final barriers. That sounds like Pete Buttigieg. And it speaks of prosperity. So that would be after, Mary's going to flip it, and then he'll join, and that's just going to strengthen the Senate. I feel very confident about both these candidates. And then I picked one other rune for Pete that is the gateway rune. And there's just one sentence to describe it here this morning. Gateway represents moving from one place to another space. And without gateways to show us that we are transferring from one place to another, we wouldn't kind of recognize that it's actually happening. So that's really good. Hold on to that. I feel very confident the way I do when I'm correct. So I have more to share. You probably are aware of this, but Donald Trump is getting cornered as world leaders from France to Canada to China team up to outmaneuver him and put him in his place. That's really good news because it's what we need, to be honest with you. We need this giant force to come up against him because he is a force. And that sounds like I'm giving him a compliment, and I have no compliments for him. I can't find one redeeming thing about him, and neither can most people. But I feel that this is his nature. So this isn't even really like, me using my ear, that he fights. That's what he likes to do. That's what he's always done. And no matter what comes along, no matter what, comes and knocks him, he's going to continue to fight. He will never accept, the world being against him. He wants to win. He wants to fight. So he's going to continue to push back and be very crimey and keep upsetting and pushing the envelope and testing. So, this is how I feel. It's kind of a crazy thing to say, but even if Mr. Smelly was waterboarded, he wouldn't say uncle. That's how determined and crazy he is. So it's really great that the rest of the world is going, oh no, no way, buddy, not gonna happen. But he's got his delusions, he's in his frontal temporal dementia, and he's coming up with schemes and insane suggestions. I mean, just know, he's not just wicked. Now he's in dementia. So he's coming up with, well, I'm going to go after this, I'm going to go after that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And we have to kind of get used to it until he beams up or is, physically removed from the White House. Could happen. Could happen. Physically removed. All right. I'm going to move on here. The last My Left Ear that I did, that wasn't the writing one, I brought up the subject of this man, Sascha Riley, finally being discovered, because he's been speaking out about his trafficking, being trafficked by his dad, his adopted father, and going through SA and torture. And then he saw a lot of really ghoulish things, and who did the ghoulish things to others and to him. I didn't go into a lot of detail, but I did get a message from someone new who said, I just wasn't able to watch your show. It's triggering me, and I'll try coming back and see how I feel. So I just told her, take good care of yourself. Take good care of yourself. And that's why I'm not going into details. It's too awful, okay? I wrote somebody on Twitter that I think is extra smart and plugged in, and it's not a friend or anybody I know. I've just watched her a lot. And I said, do you think there's any chance that we're being punked by Sasha Riley? And she wrote me back, no. That's it. No, we're not. When I mentioned this before, when I listened to some of his stories, he sounds very credible to me. When someone is talking in this kind of detail, with, outrageous detail, he just is sharing in a way that feels extremely legitimate. But we don't know for sure yet. People on Twitter are really grabbing on to his reports, what he's alleging, and it's spreading, okay? It's starting to get some attention. There are podcasters that won't touch it, but I think they will eventually. They won't be able to. I'm not going to name names because I like him, but I saw podcasters very, very successful bring it up, very uncomfortable bringing it up, the whole Sasha thing, and doubtful. I just saw fear, okay? I saw fear. And I think a lot of sort of well-known YouTube influencers and podcasters are afraid of this. So I asked the runes, will Sasha Riley be taken seriously? And guess what? I got the rune of fertility. It's a big yes. Fertility is new beginnings. It's akin to the moon, the intuitive part of our nature. So people are intuiting that they need to pay attention to this. It embodies the need for sharing. Now, he embodies the need for sharing, and he has since 2021, evidently. But here's the good news. It marks a time of joyful deliverance for Sasha, a rune of great power, and it tells him, you now have the strength to achieve completion or resolution, which opens your new beginning. And I have felt that he's on a very painful healing journey, but this is going to help him. This is going to help him. He's going to get a lot of support. And so we gotta just watch this. It's opening, and it's opening slowly because of fear, right? Fear. And what's interesting is the people that are being named, and it's unbelievable, the people that are being named right now as participants. Back then, nobody's suing him. Nobody's suing him. Nobody's coming against him. And this is how you can sort of say guilty, because anybody that sues Sasha Riley has to go through the process in legal terms of discovery, where they have to tell everything and answer everything, and then a deposition. Well, can you imagine like Clarence Thomas suing him and then having to go through discovery, or Lindsey Graham? Oh my heavens. So he's hands off. And I think that's why we can believe him. No one's coming out to attack him. You know what I mean? Legally attack him. All right. So I'm going to talk about Michael Cohen in a moment, but I'm interrupting here because I thought of another story from Rehab. Very simple, but because of what we've got going on right now, it's worth telling you this. So I'm halfway into my 8 years, maybe 4 years into the rehab. I get assigned a client. He's a man from Austria. I can't remember what his addiction issue was. So he showed up, and he was very Aryan looking, blonde hair, blue eyes, and he still had the accent. And he starts talking about his life and being from Austria and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden he tells me, as a kid, he met Adolf Hitler. He met him. And he said, oh yeah, I have a picture of myself as a little boy with Adolf Hitler. And he reaches in to whatever, and he pulls out the picture. It's black and white. He shows it to me. And indeed, it's a black and white photograph of Adolf Hitler bending down and saying hello, shaking the hand of this little Austrian boy. That blew me away. It was like, that is just too close. But I wanted to share it with you because it was a stunning moment for me. Michael Cohen is in the crosshairs. There's something wrong going on, and something off about him, and it's coming out right now. And I don't know what's proven. I'm still a little confused, but I must say that from the beginning, I've been very skeptical of him. I've never gotten the feeling that he properly rehabilitated himself, or that he went to therapy and got real insight into why he got attached to this insane criminal and did crimey things. And he was a thug. He was like a mafia guy. He threatened people. He intimidated people. He was a very ugly guy. And then blah, 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 okay? And he gets in trouble. I never thought I thought from the beginning, my left ear, that this man has huge daddy issues. And I still think his daddy issues are what drove him towards being attached to the smelly guy and being his, enforcer, or whatever you want to call what he was. And so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that he really didn't change. He really didn't get insight. He never had that aha moment. And I never heard one journalist ask him leading questions about, what was your relationship like with your father? Or what have you done to heal from all these mistakes? Nothing. And if I had ever gotten to interview him, I would have gone right to getting him talk about his father, because there's like this unholy attachment to the smelly guy that's just above and beyond. So I'm just going to read what I culled from news. Michael Cohen evidently instructed his attorney at one point to explore the possibility of a pardon from the president. And this was not yesterday. This was, I think, about 2020. I'm not sure, but it wasn't recent. This is according to Cohen's current counsel, Lonnie Davis. That statement appears to contradict something Cohen said under oath last week to House lawmakers. Now, this paragraph is older. That's why it's not last week. I just want to explain that. So Michael Cohen is quoted as saying, "I have never asked for, nor would I accept, a pardon from President T." That's what he said a while back. But then I think under oath, he said something different. Or the report is that he did seek it. He did seek a pardon. There's more to this, and I think there's some extortion, maybe, I'm being careful, on Michael Cohen's part, that what he was trying to finagle and sort of stay attached to Trump. I do feel like Marjorie Taylor Greene, that Cohen could not believe or accept that the man he had done all these deeds for didn't provide him or invite him into the White House for any kind of a position, just left him in New York, kind of dumped him. And I think, I think for Marjorie Taylor Greene, that was a big, huge disappointment. And I think it just sat in Michael Cohen's craw. Now, the minute this came out, Midas Touch dropped him. He was doing something called the beatdown with Ben Meiselas, and I hated it. I thought it was corny. They would start it with like doing a little punch thing, and that was from Cohen. And anytime I watched Michael Cohen, I thought, why is this guy yelling everything he's talking about? I mean, he could never just talk like I'm talking with you. He was like pounding it in. And a lot of these people could use a director to give them some advice. And so it was too assaultive. It was too in your face, and you have to believe me. And and I think about a quote from Shakespeare. I don't remember the play. I have a friend who's an expert. I'm going to ask her, but it's, I think thou doth protest too much. You may, one of you smart people out there may know the play, but I'm going to find out, so I'll let you know. I find this thing with Michael Cohen, even though I didn't like him that much, or I don't like him, I don't hate him. I just, big questions, big questions, but I find it tragic. Number one, because he has a wife and he has children. He's been married once, and I do not think he's a player of any kind with women. And that's so sad to me, because this falls on his family. And he's, I think, tumbling. This must have been such a blow to him to be cut from, the Midas channel. And I hope he has resources to survive and all that kind of stuff. And maybe this could be so shocking and terrible for him that he actually will have an aha moment and, come to his senses. It's not too late. And so here's a quote, and it's a bit long, but when I saw it, I went, okay, this is the quote for today. Now I'll tell you, it's by Carl Sagan, from, I think, a book that he wrote. I'm not sure if there's a book or an article, but The Demon Haunted World. And it's a colon, and then it says science as a candle in the dark. So this is what he wrote. One of the saddest lessons of history is this: we've been bamboozled long enough. We tend to reject any evidence of the bamboozle. We're no longer interested in finding out the truth. The bamboozle has captured us. It's simply too painful to acknowledge, even to ourselves and MAGAs, that's my interjection, that we've been taken. We've been taken. Once you give a charlatan power over you, you almost never get it back. Wow, wow, wow. I Googled quotes on, I can't remember, but I just blows my mind because it could be written right now. So anyway, I was very excited about this quote. I was like, whoa. All right, so this is some tidbits for today, and I thank you for anybody that has joined the writing group. Got off to a rough start. It feels like Mercury was retrograde, but nope, can't blame it on that. They just changed the site. I didn't realize it, and it was too late to confer with Joe, my Patreon person. So I have to get in touch with him tomorrow. Anyway, that's it for today. Have a good Sunday. I took off the giant wrapping on my thumb this morning, and it looks really messy. And I think maybe I needed a couple of stitches. I just don't like the way it looks. It's not infected. I'm going to go over to my ER and just have a nurse take a look at it, because either it's stitches or I need some really good butterfly bandages, and I don't have any. But I don't like the way it looks. There's still like this, an envelope. There's like a patch that's flipped. It's like what do I call it? I can't think of it. But it's just a hunk of skin that hasn't attached itself properly. It's still hanging out there, but it's all caked with blood and everything. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. Not serious, but not really happy to go over there. It's a long wait. Anyway, we're good. And I'll see you next week. For sure. There isn't going to be a week that isn't filled with outrageous news. So take care of your inner child. Make sure you get out and just get some fresh air, and don't talk about this crap. Take care of yourself. And you know what? I'm not the only one saying that. I'm seeing people that, are not even in the business of caring or coaching or therapy or anything, like saying the same thing. You guys take a break. This is really rough. So a lot of people are saying that, and it's okay to take a break. I need to also, as an empath, I need to get away from it. It's like, and it's one of the reasons I started the writing group. All right, peace and blessings. And Petey says hello. I'll do my best to bring him back the next time, but he's doing okay, because a wet cold nose, and he ate. So I don't feel like I need to, or he's depressed, but anyway, he's fine. He's fine. He slept with me last night, and it was very, friendly this morning. So I'll talk to you soon. Make peace, make good memories. Talk to you soon.